These are the tales and ramblings of two men, their dream of running a successful food truck business and life. We invite you along to join Josh and Skippy on this journey. This is Monday Morning Food Truck.
Good morning, Skippy. Oops, sorry, I hit the mute button as I was trying to move my microphone closer. Good morning.
Joshua. How are you?
I'm sick. I have a cold. That seems to be getting worse instead of better. I had I cut my hand again. This one wasn't bad. So back by our dish sinks, if you're familiar, we had a little generator box that we could start a generator from the inside, the one that was mounted. So it was just a wall-mounted box that was wrapped in diamond plate. So I was putting some dishes back there, and a corner of it slid right underneath the skin on my finger. Hurt pretty bad, but it didn't really bleed or anything. It was just a small little cut. It wasn't a huge deal. But yeah, the next day my hand started to swell up. So went into urgent care right away, so I didn't end up with another one of these situations. Yeah, so they gave me they gave me 2 scripts for antibiotics, the same prescription. It got filled twice for whatever reason. So, anyways, so I got past those 5 days and then continued taking them as I started getting a cold. Figured some broad spectrum antibiotics can't hurt. So,
yeah, throw it in there.
Yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit. But yeah, my throat's been pretty rough this morning. So apologize for any extra coughing and gurgling that I'm going to be doing. But,
well, on that note,
what note?
Popped open a can. Just popped open a can.
Oh, I couldn't. With the green screen, stuff disappears sometimes. You can't see. Is that Fresca?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's weird. No, this is I've been banned from drinking Monster Ultras by my lovely wife, so I'm trying to find alternative zero-calorie caffeine drinks, and I have found sparkling ice caffeine.
How is it?
Not as good as as an Ultra Monster, but my hope is it's less taxing on my health. Ish. Yeah. I think I'm Superman, but she still doesn't believe me.
I'm having 2 monsters a day.
Cheers.
My cardiologist says my heart is fine.
Yes. Have you been through a stress test yet?
No, they have not. They did not do a stress test for me, but I'm pretty sure the only thing keeping my heart going is the monster. So I'm afraid to stop.
Yeah, I a few years ago I had very high blood pressure, and my wife decided to have the hospital detain me. So at 7:00 the next morning, I had to go do a stress test, and all the people in there were good-looking women, and I had my fat hairy body out there. Sorry, we just lost 3 listeners. And I had to I had to walk and then run and then walk fast and then go get some radioactive dye thrown in me but everything was great. I was fitter than a fiddle.
Good.
Monsters help. Anyway.
Yes. Hashtag monsters help.
I'll jump into something. Yesterday, I got in a shouting match with another food truck operator. So I'd like your opinion on who was in the wrong.
Oh, okay? God. Okay.
For this? So I was told that where I had to park yesterday, I had to back in. And this is we'll call it a 1.5 car road. More like a path, if you will.
Okay.
So I had to back through a gate and then angle the trailer to get off the road.
All right.
So I was about halfway through, started angling the trailer, and then this van pulled in front of me on said road. So I nicely put the one finger up, says, "Hold on a minute, just hold." Oh, sorry, you can't see it. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm backing up, she's creeping forward. And just keeps creeping. And I'm like, now I'm putting up the 5 fingers like, stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to. Luckily, I didn't have to pull forward, but then I get to back up and I get in my spot. I wasn't even off the truck. Was the trailer was off the road, but the truck wasn't. She pulls next to me, and asked me to roll my window down. So I oblige her, and she says, "You looked mad. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get through here. That we had enough room." And I'm like, "Ma'am, common trailer etiquette is to wait until the trailer's parked, because if I have to go forward, I don't need to be looking out for you on my front bumper." She's like, "Well, then you should learn to back it in right the first time." I said, "Just go to where you need to go, ma'am." And she gave me dirty looks the whole rest of the day because we were parked next to each other. So, was I in the wrong for being quite irritated, or was she in the wrong for creeping forward every single time? Or were we both in the wrong as we just started shouting in front of people?
I think anytime anybody's backing into somewhere, it is common courtesy for you to wait until they get into the spot.
Great.
Especially on, what is it, a narrow road.
Very. More like a path.
Now, if there is a adequate space to go around, I'm just talking regular parallel parking now on a city street. If there's enough room and the traffic is clear on the opposing lane, then go ahead. With trailers, it's a little bit different because we have to take wide berths. And I have this on my street all the time because we back our trailer into our driveway.
Yes.
Then people go flying by us at 60 miles an hour, and I can't see them.
Yes.
Until they are next to my window flying by.
So, common trailer etiquette, just wait until the nice trailer backs up. Just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait. It's like a couple seconds. You're not going to miss anything. Just wait. Now, if they're doing a 32-point turn, find alternate route maybe, but
in my opinion, the more impatient you are with the person driving the trailer, the longer it's going to take.
Yes, because they're either going to purposely fuck you or
they're going to try to rush, and then their steering adjustments are too big, and then you end up with a jackknife trailer somewhere, and then you got to try to fix it and start all over. And yeah.
Also, the trailer behind us, I had mentioned on numerous times, we have no idea how he got licensed because there is more rust spots than windows. Had to jack up his trailer with a actual 3-ton floor jack because the tongue was bent. Like, I've seen a lot of things bend. I've bent a few things myself. I've never seen a tongue look like it's basically going to rub the ground.
Well, that's probably safe to roll down the road.
Well, you said he welded it the night before.
Oh, okay. All's good then.
Oh, boy. Anyway. Like, just anyway. Like,
since you brought up the can't believe he got licensed anyways, I was talking to, when we were at the Granville Fall Fest, a barbecue vendor that was out of a tent. And he had mentioned that they are going to start handing or giving STFUs to tent setups. Somehow. So I'm gonna explore that a little bit further here in the off season and see if that's an actuality or how
right,
that's possible.
You might save $60,000 and just need to go buy a van.
Yeah.
A couple easy ups and be good.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, if you have the strips, you have your three bus tubs for a sink, some hot water. I mean, you're okay.
Yeah.
Ish.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Go buy a little U-Haul van, throw an inverter and a couple plugs in there, and you got your warmer.
Chad says the bigger vehicle always has the right of way, and he wants to know if the truck that was in front of you was an egg roll guy.
No, it was an elephant ear lady, and it was her van. It wasn't even like a delivery van. It was just like a personal van that she was dropping off to the egg roll guy, or not the egg roll guy, the elephant ear guy. Well, I will admit, I saw many elephant ears. They looked really good.
So we've been pretty transparent on the show as far as finances and stuff. So I'll continue with my headache that I have.
Yeah, what's going on?
So we are financing or trying to finance our new trailer through the same leasing company, a much better rate. We will not be paying $130,000 for that next trailer. It's much more in line with just a traditional kind of loan rate. I heard back Friday that they are underwriting and struggling to approve because of our credit. So,
Oh, like business credit?
no,
Oh,
they're not even looking at business credit.
oh,
So that's all being run through personal. And my long credit history with personal has been improving over since my divorce and getting things taken care of, and it's been improving. But we've had lots of things happen in the last year, and there's lots of hits to our credit regularly with student loans, and so it's fair, but it's not great. Anyways, so yeah, that's where we're at. And if anybody has any insight on what it takes for people to look at business credit only, at what point in time does my personal credit detach itself from the business? You know? Because they're not running the CEOs of McDonald's credit when they ask for a loan.
have you tried a credit union?
So, first of all, traditional banking's not going to work, probably, because of the industry we're in. Huntington wouldn't touch it. Just because because it's a mobile food business. They won't touch it. They won't even process it.
My local burger friend here, who's
Mm-hmm.
trying to be an Empire owner, is going through a local credit union and using business credit. And he's only been in business for a little over 2 years.
So through Experian, I pulled our business credit. I had to pay like $50 for the report or whatever. So those credit scores run a little bit different.
Yeah.
They're out of 100.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Did scare you there for a minute when you
No.
saw like a...
Because the number was still green.
Okay, good.
But yeah, we had a 98
Okay.
with zero negative marks. A 98, and our risk factor was a 2. So 1's the best. It goes 1 through 5, and we were at a 2. So I'm like, and that's what. So I emailed him back. I said, and because I downloaded the report PDF and sent it to him. I said, here's our business credit. I said, I don't know why this is such a struggle. Plus, with our history, so apparently the bank that funded our lease the first time around didn't make it through COVID. So they're using new financing places. So I don't know if it's just post COVID is weird. So yeah, still exploring other options. I still have 3 weeks to get this through, and we will figure it out. So, but, I mean, another wedding booked for next year. It looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. I just received got a couple people.
I mean, a lot of great quotes going out. A lot of people excited about quotes. I could really use a second trailer. I'm going to get frustrated soon when I have to start turning stuff down because I don't know our fate yet. You know? Like, sorry that it is booked, but reach back out to me in 3 weeks. It might not be all of a sudden.
You'll figure it out, bud.
I know. It'll all be good. So, just wish I had the cash. I mean, if I fired Chris and didn't have Chris on board, then I could afford to pay cash for it. But apparently, I got to pay him money too. So,
Kind of.
he's worth every penny, and I'm happy to have him. Don't get mopey on me, Chris. Love you, buddy. Yeah. But I know most people would say I overpaid for him. And I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah. Good. You some people can say anything they want to.
Your headset looks like it's the beginnings of a bolo tie.
It feels like it too.
How was your week, Skippy? How was the rest of your week?
Just just right into that.
Well, that's where we usually start.
I know.
And we're 15 minutes in, so.
Roadside was, had a private event for Stanley Black & Decker. First of all, I didn't know they were together. I'm just way out of the loop. Also, this isn't the Stanley Black. It's the same Stanley Black & Decker company, but this one doesn't make tools. This one makes accessories for skid steers. Very, very cool people. Love the food. They actually had a meat czar there because they ordered all 3 meats, or pork, brisket, and chicken, and they had somebody there dishing it out to make sure everybody had enough. I'm like, okay.
Nice.
First time I ever set the buffet up the way we were talking about it with
JT.
Yeah. Seemed to work out good for 120 people. They didn't run out of anything.
Good.
And I just basically did a full pan of everything, so that's good. That's what they ordered. Friday was a weird event. We were paid money to go to Siena Heights University, which is part of Adrian College. They were doing free days. Basically did either a free pork or brisket sandwich with a side for 100 people, or loaded mac, whatever. We had a line, I mean, just deep, just when you give college kids free food, they just jump at it. And then got angry when we went through the 100 people that they paid for. Private event on Saturday, a wedding that I was very scared about. First time I was ever asked to turn my generator off so they could do the ceremony. I'm like, my generator is very, very quiet. They're like, I know, but you're 100 feet away and I don't want to speak over your generator. I'm like, all right, whatever. So it was like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, not bad. But it's the first time ever that I saw black clouds, just a line of black clouds coming this way. And like right at the driveway, they split into a U and just spared the wedding service. Like black clouds went just around it, and then got back together after the ceremony was outside. It was very, very cold. Definitely saw a lot of women that didn't care about what they were wearing as long as they looked good. They didn't care about being cold, because it was very, very chilly out, very windy. Yesterday we had a fall harvest festival. So I had called you earlier in the week and I explained the situation. I had RSVP'd for this festival on August 10th. Last week the list came out and I was shocked to find that we weren't on there. So of course I messaged them and said, hey, I'm sure this is just a clerical oversight, but wanted to make sure. And they're like, oops, we made a mistake, but we'll accommodate you if you still want to come. So I had called you and said, hey, should I still go? Knowing that they already had another barbecue truck there, and not knowing that the soul food guide that I was next to with the broken trailer that I referenced earlier in this podcast was selling a lot of the same things I was, and we happened to be parked right next to each other. But anyway, you said, yeah, just cook accordingly. I'm like, well, I got nothing to do on a Sunday anyway, so let's just go do it. So I cooked 3 butts and 2 good-sized briskets and some hot dogs for the kids and chicken, just for shits and giggles, because I had it in the fridge. It had to be cooked.
Yep.
Did about $1,800. So for a Sunday, that was good.
Yeah. Worth going.
It was definitely worth going. I did have one of the volunteers there, one of the workers there, apologize for the mouthy lady. Asked me, and I said, don't worry about it. Appreciate it. It's all good.
I'm going to guess you've been mouthy with other people then.
No, he just was there to witness the mouth, mouth in action, if you will. So the week itself was okay. It was a total of It was about $6,200 for the week, which is kind of low. But sorry, that was only the first through the seventh. Oh, which is right. Okay, I forgot Sunday was October 1st. Right? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So transactions were down. Average ticket was up because of the caterings. I like seeing return customers come back. But other than that, pretty good.
Good.
Pretty okay. I have a $30,000 payment coming up. Oh, yeah, the other thing too is everybody knows that I'm purchasing a new trailer. I got a call from the trailer company saying, "Hey, so we're trying to finish the outside stuff up, and we noticed that you had a 6-foot front counter." And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "But you have a 5-foot window." Okay. So the awning guy is saying that we can't center it. We got to move it over. And I'm like, okay, why don't you just give me a 5-foot on or 5-foot thing? Oh, well, yeah, I guess we can do that. I'm like, well, it should save me a couple bucks. I just took the 6-foot because that's what they put on there.
Right.
So they sent me a new. I saved like $22.
$22 is $22.
So I asked him. I said, okay, so
it's like 5 packages of your plastic utensils that you throw away every day.
Yeah, exactly. I do. Anyway, they're not every day. I've started washing them. They're just really.
That's a solid callback, though. I'm just saying.
So I asked him. I said, "So I'm not really keen on paying a final payment if I'm not really able to see the trailer."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I completely understand that. He's like, we have a few people that are like that. The best we can do is have you come down and look at it prior to equipment and give us the payment then. And I'm like, that's the best you can do. So they're going to send me pictures of what it looks like before they ask me for my $30,000 payment.
So clearly they're using your cash to buy the equipment.
I mean, is a 26-foot porch trailer 26 or the 30 grand I've already spent or I've already sent them?
I paid for the trailer.
Jesus, our freedom was cheaper than that. Anyway, so we did say, or he did say that he asked me when I was thinking about picking it up. I'm like, well, we're going down to the World Food Championships in Dallas on the first week of November. So I would love to see if we can maybe pick it up that Monday, the 6th. They're like, I'll tell you what, I'll make sure it's done by then. He's like, we open at 8:30. I'm like, I'll be there at 8:30 then. So that's the goal right now, is to pick it up that Monday in November. Because there was only one ahead of me at the manufacturer to be shipped out, and there was 22 at the finishing facility that needed to be fixed or finished, not fixed, finished. So yeah. Anyway. So yeah, that was my week. Yours?
We took an extra day off on Tuesday. Partially because we had nothing going on. Yeah, apparently I didn't work super hard on my October schedule at the beginning of the year.
You too, huh?
Yeah.
Mine just kind of filled in last week.
Yeah, we have a lot of evenings open during the week in October, which is fine. It's not a huge deal.
Like the Dutton gas station's getting a lot of visits this month.
So, yeah, we took an extra day off Tuesday. Yeah, pretty busy lunches. So roadside lunches have been pretty busy, which I think we saw the same kind of behavior last year as we get down to our last couple times at some locations, or last times at a couple locations. Things are starting to pick up a little bit during those lunch services. So we've been going into dinners pretty light. We've even canceled a couple dinners. I think Thursday was one of those days. I think we went until 3 on Thursday. And we had like a a half pan of pork left after lunch.
Yeah, I
And
think I saw you post
it was still there at 3:00. We're like, we're done. Like, I'm not sitting around for the next 3 hours trying to get rid of, in the pouring rain at that point, trying to get rid of this half pan of pork that's going to taste like shit.
buy one sandwich, get a pound free.
We've done that with ribs before, where we get rid of all the rest of the proteins, and we have like 3 racks of ribs, and like, buy a half rack, get a half rack free. Please
Fire
take
sale.
these ribs so we can go home. So yeah, and then Wiseman lunch was pretty good. Another day that it was okay. It was a pretty decent lunch, and football season's always weird on Fridays for us because usually if we get past 5 or 6 o'clock, it's dead. Everybody's at football games, and the weather was quickly turning to late fall, pouring rain, cold, windy. Not great, but yeah, then we had double days at Deep Roots Saturday and Sunday, and both pretty good days there. We sold out Sunday pretty early. Saturday we made it our whole time, but there wasn't a ton of food left when we left. I think we had the same thing, kind of. I think a rack of ribs and a half pan of pork or brisket left is all. So, solid days. We're cooking a little bit lighter right now, just because what we saw towards the end of September, and weather is always kind of iffy right now. So, but cooking appropriately, I think so. Yeah, it was an okay week. Yeah, nothing that's making us rich, but we're paying the bills and putting a little money aside. So,
How's your giveaway doing?
good.
Good.
Definitely have had a bump in some of our regulars coming and the size of their orders. So,
Good.
Ben, who is our Duracho guy, who usually bought lunch once a week for his little crew of 6 guys, has now started coming twice a week, and is really determined to win it. I said, you realize that if you just came your normal amount, put the rest of that money aside, you could buy yourself a PlayStation. He's like, yeah, I thought about it. Okay. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Happy to have your business. But, yeah. Yep, it's going well. Well received. People like it. It'll be nice to give one away. It'll be a lot of fun.
All right.
What? Why are you shaking your head? Head shake of disapproval.
No, it's not a disapproval. Okay, it took me this long to realize that this isn't even working. I'm hooked up, but for some reason it's not coming through. It's not coming through Zoom. Whatever. Anyway, are you good? You're having a hard time right now, aren't you?
For those of you that can't see, Skippy just took his headphones off after 30 minutes, realizing that there was no sound coming out of them.
Anyway, let's talk about a question or two.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, it's fun. Oh boy. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I've just looked at these questions for the first time. I don't know if you looked at them. All right.
I was excited about them.
What keeps you up at night regarding your business? Well, for Josh right now, it's financing a trailer.
Yeah. Man. That set aside, what keeps me up at night? The same things that kept me up at night the day before we opened for the first time. I have some anxiety issues. They're not super bad, but, it's always what if no one shows up tomorrow? What if, especially if you get a couple days, Skippy, you've been there, where it's been really slow. At spots that have previously been pretty good, and all of a sudden you get like a dead week, and it's like, well, maybe we're done fooling them, It was a good run. Let's close up and go find a job somewhere.
Maybe that last joke of the returning customer that came back and I'm like, oh, I didn't make you sick today. That's good. The last time you came.
Yeah, it's always for me. It's did I do enough today to make sure that we're going to be open next year? And that answer is always no in my head. I haven't done enough any day to ensure our success. So there's always more that I think I can do. There's always better things that we can do. And then location spots. And did I accidentally double book something? When we get into where it's that prime catering season, I'm always terrified that I accepted something that I didn't write down or something like that. And I'm just waiting for the phone call that says, "Where are you? And where's our food?"
Yes, oh my goodness gracious me. That scares the bejesus out of me.
Yep. For us, we're doing 99% of everything ourselves, especially with booking and stuff. So there's so many times where I have conversations while I'm on the trailer, or I respond to somebody while we're busy or something, and yeah, I have forgotten about plenty of stuff. Told somebody I was going to send them something, and 3 days later, it's like, I haven't gotten this yet from you. It's like, oh, sorry. So in my brain, it's not out of the question that I would have said, yep, we can be there. And then, yeah.
It's done on the calendar. I look at the calendar every day to make sure I didn't mess something up.
Yeah.
I'll go through all my emails once a week just to make sure I didn't miss something.
Yeah, I try to. Between that and Facebook messages.
I was lucky enough to have somebody reach back out to me after she reached out to our website, did her whole contact me form, and I completely flaked on it. And that was in July, and she called me back last month and said, "Hey, I sent you this. I just hadn't heard anything back, and we really want you out." I'm like, oh shit. Well,
yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, those are pretty awful feelings. And then it's the parties that I don't hear from. Like, they paid a deposit, you don't hear anything from them leading up to the event. That starts stressing me out as of Monday, especially if I send them an email to saying, "Hey, just want to make sure we're all good. You want to make any changes or anything?" And I don't hear back from them for a day. It's like, okay, what do I do?
So you all you do is you do a deposit. You don't ask for half like before. You do the whole thing at the end.
It's a $250 deposit to hold the date. Refundable up to a month out.
Is there a reason you don't ask for like a half or a quarter or like prepayment or something like that?
Well, I don't see the point of asking for that much.
Okay. I think the point is showing commitment.
It's a commitment at any amount, isn't it?
No. I think there's too many people out there that really don't care about $250. They care about they're throwing $1,000 down.
I think you're living in too much of a hoity-toity mindset. I think a lot of people care about $250.
What's that?
I think a lot of people care about $250.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. So I worked at Quicken Loans for 4 years. They take a $500 deposit, and they try to tell you it's non-refundable, even though they don't tell you it's non-refundable. They tell you it's a commitment to do business. I don't know how many deals I lost because somebody else gave them a better rate or gave them a better deal, and they're like, "We don't care about our $500."
But mortgages is a big difference. Where those,
but it's the mindset nonetheless.
I'm okay throwing away $500 to save $10,000 over the life of a 30-year mortgage.
So what if I quoted somebody $3,000, took a $250 deposit, and somebody else quoted them $2,000?
Okay.
I'm $1,000 higher.
Yeah.
They'll throw away their $250, so they'll call it $2,250 out the door.
Okay, so I just made $250 for not doing anything.
I get it, but you also didn't get the gig because you didn't.
But I could still have time to book somewhere else.
There's really nothing tying them to do anything.
Okay.
Okay, we can agree to disagree. That's fine. I accept half 30 days out and the rest either day of or day before.
Okay. Good. I've
I
done
was
different
I was
amounts. I've
going
done a
off of
quarter of it before, and
no, I know. I was going off of what you just said about
right.
there was an anxiety of you not talking to somebody ahead of like a
Well, that
if
never
I'm
doesn't change anything. I've had people pay for the whole thing a month and a half ahead of time, and I still don't hear from them until the day before.
oh, all right. I
That's
didn't
not going to
understand.
change the anxiety level. I'm not worried about people canceling.
So I reach out personally a week ahead of time.
So
just
do
to
I.
see, making sure everything's good. And
But I still have times where it's 2 days, 3 days before I hear back from them. And if they want to cancel, fine. I need to plan shopping.
true.
And a lot of our catering stuff, it's not stuff that we use on a daily basis. So if I go shopping for an event where they want, mashed potatoes for 300 people or side salads, that's stuff that we don't normally sell daily on our truck. So it's now I have all these mashed potatoes that I need to get rid of, or 6 bags of green salad that serves 4 billion people that I'm just going to toss. I've only ever had 2 people cancel on me, and they've all been way ahead of time.
Yeah, I've got one. I get that.
So,
Okay. Okay, I get it. I get the anxiety level. Trust me, I definitely get the anxiety level.
I mean, what is your average catering gig?
2,000 probably.
Okay, so my $250 deposit's a quarter, or an eighth.
An eighth. Yeah.
It's a decent amount of that.
I get it. I get it. Like I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I guess it. Other people I've talked to do, 30 or 15 days ahead of time or whatever, just to make sure that they're engaged. How about that? They're engaged versus, just waiting and waiting and waiting. I mean, I've had that way that the invoices, the reminders go out,
I send all my reminders out.
Okay.
They get all the same stuff.
Yeah.
I think the bigger part of it is that people ask for 25%. It's not for the engagement. It's so they're not out any money if they flake. So their 25% deposit covers all their goods for the event. If you go 4 times cost.
Yeah.
Formula. Sure. That way, if they flake out in the last week, when they've already probably shopped for the event, think of most restaurants and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. They've already added it onto their order for the week or whatever, so it covers that cost.
Makes sense. I get it. Number 2. We could probably do a whole show about this one. Any fears about getting a second trailer?
No.
Answer to that is absolutely. 100, as the kids say.
Yeah.
I was having a lot of fears this weekend just thinking about it, because unlike Josh, who has two employees, I don't really have one. I have helpers that are nice enough to donate their time.
I thought you had an actual employee now.
No, she can't commit to it. She's leaving for Florida. So, nope.
All right. The search continues.
So I've been talking with people. A local bar just got bought and sold, and they don't like the owner. So I talked to a couple bartenders.
Mm-hmm.
So my anxiety level is, I think, higher than Josh's on having a second trailer. So mine is, I plan on parking it. I've already got the deal worked out. That's fine. It's just more of having somebody to staff it and be responsible for making food, which that's fine. They could do that. But it's the finding someone that you can trust to be there on time and all that other wonderful shindigs. But then I was thinking about, okay, so I need to do I need to buy a second truck? Do I need to treat this as a completely different, not different business, but separate business? Is this one trailer just going to be parked in my spot 3 days a week, and that's all it's going to run? If I do book a weekend that has 2 events on it, and they both want a food truck, who's going to pull the other one? Those are all my anxiety levels right now. You have Chris who can tow a trailer, but what are you worried about?
Yeah, I mean, but it's still the same thing. I still, do I need another pickup truck, which I probably would, to be able to pull two trailers going in different directions. What worries me about the second trailer most of all is being able to book it. Yeah, I don't have that singular spot that I could set up at every day and just leave it there for a few days. There's some prospects that I'm working on, but as of right now, yeah. And as I look at my October calendar, as we just discussed, that it's pretty light, And these are all the same things I fretted about before I bought the first one. So in a way, it's all the same stuff. It's all the same anxieties about having two trailers as it is about one. My solace and my reprieve from my anxiety is knowing that I've been making payments on the trailer that I have for 4 years with the business that we have. So having a payment on a second trailer that is less than the trailer one's payment, continuing going forward, makes me comfortable that that's not an issue. So paying for the trailer is not going to be the problem. As long as we can pay for it, then all is well. Because I don't envision a scenario where that has $0 in sales on the second trailer. It's definitely going to be a more modest projection for trailer 2. Because I think we're looking probably close to 330,000 for this year in sales, which I think is pretty close to where I projected at the beginning of the year. I think we were hoping 330 to 350. We should be right around 330, I think. So yeah, if we can do another 150 on that other trailer, it'll be good. And I think that's perfectly reasonable to think for the first year. And then it's staffing. We're going to lose Pam next year. She's only got a few more weeks. It looks like Caleb's probably coming back after the winter. He started to do some meat trimming and seasoning and stuff, so he's kind of learning his way through that. Trying to get him close to ready to, if we had to, have him do some of these things. But yeah, I still need another 3 people, for me. Because as much as I struggle to find time right now to do things like the extra marketing or the social media marketing and being able to do those kinds of posts and then emails, text messages, and all that stuff, to be able to keep up on a regular basis, plus doing our banking and accounting stuff, doubling all that workload for 2 trailers. And booking and stuff. In my head, 2 trailers running near full time means that I am not on either of them most of the time. Probably.
Yeah.
Because at that point there's too much to manage between the 2 of them to be able to run one of them. Yeah, ideally, trailer 2 sits somewhere in a parking lot and is open, Tuesday through Thursday, roadside, and then set aside for private events, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if something else, like another corporate event, comes up on a weekday, then we move it out of that area and go into a private event. But that way it doesn't need to get pulled every day. It can kind of sit stationary for the most part. Someone can stop by trailer 1, get the stock they need for trailer 2, meat-wise and stuff, and just load the trailer and go and open for the day. Or even if that's me, like just doing lunch services Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on the trailer 2. We're just open for lunch. Yeah, those are the kinds of things that I mean, once we get past me being able to actually finance this thing. Those would be the next things that I will be fretting about. So, and yeah, staffing is a hard one. I mean, for food trucks, especially the ones that shut down in the winter. You know, we can't hire anybody now. You know, okay, I can give you the next 4 weeks, but then if you could not get a job over the winter, or just a temporary job over the winter, that'd be great. So it's almost like you can't hire anybody until you have the second trailer ready to go. And at that point, it's like, well, shit, now what do I do? So probably how we'll handle that, since we're projected to get our trailer beginning of March, end of February, somewhere in that area. Leave a message. We would probably hire the couple people to work on trailer 1 for a couple weeks and then move them into trailer 2 and just not have trailer 2 running. Or I actually have to be on one of the 2 trailers for the entire time. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, first step is making sure it's getting paid for. So
yeah, yep. In past episodes, you both talk about specials and such. Yeah, we love our specials.
I love specials.
What are your thoughts as of today? Like specials, hate specials? Well, I think we just answered that. Are your current customers tired of your current menu? I want to answer that. If I had my way, I would have a Cheesecake Factory menu, and have about, if you've ever been there or familiar with it, they have a menu that's about 35 pages. And it's everything from everything. You know, they're a Cheesecake Factory, but their food's actually pretty good, but it's a huge menu. Mm-hmm. I love creating things. You know, when you find something that's interesting, oh, that sounds like it'd be good on a sandwich, and then you try it out and you taste it, and it's really good. I think myself right now, people are really getting used to the menu. I actually now have most people actually looking at the special board now. Where the first year they couldn't find it. If I drew a big penis on it or something, they wouldn't get anywhere near it.
I probably wouldn't either if there was a giant penis on it.
I think it's more of we just keep the specials going. People like specials. I do have people asking me, or telling me that those aren't, whatever I put up there, those aren't specials. Specials are like cheaper things. And I'm like, not necessarily. Specials are things that we don't have often. Mm-hmm. I did just secure a purveyor of cases of brisket points if I want to run burn ends, and I don't have to worry about cutting them off. Not overly expensive, kind of what I thought. Basically, about buying a case of flats is the same price. But for burn ends for the whole week, that'd be good. But anyway, yeah, are they tired? I don't think so. I think they're just now getting used to it. And there's people that come back for the same thing over and over again. So yeah, it's all about how you market your menu and then market your specials at the same time.
I definitely don't think people are tired of the menu. We definitely have people that have only ever ordered one thing, and that's kind of why we did the our around the menu kind of promotion for this year. Which I think we're up to like 7 or 8 now completed. So, it was kind of to entice people to, or encourage people to explore another option. And we've actually had people change their regular orders now. They found something else on the menu that they like, or didn't think they would like, but do like. So yeah, that was a fun thing for us just to try to get people to try other menu items. As far as special goes, we love them. For me, it's a kind of a way to be creative, try something new just for fun, something we saw somewhere else and thought, oh, let's try to do a twist on that. In some cases, it's a way to add a new item to the menu. We've had that happen a couple times where we've run something as a special and it's been received so well that it ends up on our regular menu. I think the important thing with specials, is to rotate them well enough and to keep adding to the list. I guess. Yeah, I mean, we get stuck in our special ruts where we are doing the same 3 specials a week. Yeah, I mean, we did a new one this weekend, the Big Apple, where we played around with some seasoned Honeycrisp apples and some pork sandwiches, and it was really good. We sold quite a few of them on Sunday. We're probably going to do a pork slider flight.
Those are good.
With similar kind of fruit and pork combinations. I think we're going to do one with peach. We're going to do one with apple. And then I'm still working on the third, but, it's a seasonal flavors in Michigan type of thing. And fruit goes well with pork. Yeah, it's just a way to expand our current thinking. And that way, if it doesn't work, you do it one time and it's done, But we have customers that only come to us for certain specials. That's the only time we ever see them is when we run a certain special. Mashed potatoes is one of those things where there's a handful of customers. We only see them ever when we do mashed potatoes. And is it to the point where we run mashed potatoes every day? I don't know. Maybe. We might be getting close to that point. Where maybe we even add mashed potatoes but take off potato salad. Because that's probably our lowest selling side. That way we try to prevent our menu from getting too big. It is big as it is. But yeah, I don't know. I as far as Skippy's 35-page menu that he wants, Isaac, you kind of binged our whole show, so you probably heard all the conversations about his rotating menus that he had, and he couldn't decide what kind of truck he wanted to be. And it was pretty much a different menu every day. Or if anybody... Don't flip me off. What was it? Was it a Brat festival or something, or a Slavic festival or something like that, where you had a all Slavic menu? Like, what are you doing?
It was German food. It was for St. Patty's Day.
Skippy's Taste from around the world.
So I'm in Square right now, and I was just trying to find what my most top selling item is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's number of units sold, not necessarily gross sales.
Yep.
Cornbread.
Really?
2,248 units of cornbread.
Well, now you're going to make me go look at stuff. This is our Square session of the episode, where every day we get squirreled away into something in Square.
So, and here's the reason I was looking at it was, so we designed our menu similar after you. It's like you can go to our menu and you can get, 10 different things. You don't always have to get the same thing. It's not going to a normal barbecue truck and getting platters and stuff like that. We wanted to be different. And yes, I stole that from you, and I appreciate you letting me steal that from you. But anyway, so...
I want to talk to you about something off the air. Don't let me forget. About menus.
Don't forget about talking to something.
Stolen menus.
Ooh, love stealing menus. Anyway, so two of our sandwiches are quite, I guess, what I call adventurous. And I've really never gone through this to see how many I've sold. So we have a PB&J. For those who don't know, the reason I'm called PB&Js is because when I was a kid, I was such a picky eater. My parents would take me out to dinner and ask the waiter or waitress to make me a PB&J. So I said, when I grow up, I'm going to have a restaurant, and on the adult menu, I'm going to have a PB&J. But our PB&J is pork, bacon, and jam. And then we also have an Elvis, which Josh has a Presley. They're a little bit different, but they both have peanut butter on it. I push the Elvis because I love it. I call it the best sandwich on the planet. So I was looking at the number of items sold, and they've outsold like our Cuban sandwich, and our Tipsy Texan sandwich, which is brisket, coleslaw, and jalapenos. Um, and I just find that like they're not our bottom sellers. So the creative ones, the ones that are a little adventurous, aren't our lower, lower sellers. So
How often do you look at your items sold? I'm guessing not horribly often.
first time. This is the first time I found it.
So yeah, it's I found it interesting. I keep an eye on kind of just for shits and giggles. We kind of see what if we sell more loaded max with brisket or pork, or what our top selling item entree is. We usually take out sides out of the equation typically. But yeah, so yeah, we've actually sold more sides of or potato salad than we have a coleslaw, which surprised me.
Yeah,
Our number one side is mac and cheese. 2,200 of them.
See, and that's not opposite. So mine goes cornbread, mac and cheese, and coleslaw.
And cornbread's number 2 for me. 1,400 orders.
Yeah, and I find it because I was thinking about different menu options. Like, okay, do I want to take away something? I'm like, no, people love the cornbread, so why take that away? Same thing with mac and cheese. I'm not going to do that because that takes away a lot of items. It's like I can't take coleslaw away because that I can stop offering it as a side, but I could keep it for a smaller portion like the sandwiches that we do.
Yeah.
But as a side, it just doesn't sell unless I do meals. So
And if you're going to use it on a sandwich, you might as well offer it as a side.
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, for our 4th consecutive year, the piglet will be our number 1 entree item.
That is correct.
With an asterisk. So that's if you separate out brisket loaded max and pork loaded max. So we are at 1,999 piglets as of right now.
Oh, so you don't have separate categories for your loaded max?
They're separate items, yeah. So they're separated on my item sold.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I have 1,678 brisket loaded max and 1,517 pork loaded max. So
All right,
3,200 loaded mac and cheeses.
So my brisket mac and cheese is $9.83, and my pork mac and cheese is $8.54.
Yeah, I'm probably pretty close to the same ratio that I have. Yeah.
But my pulled pork sandwich $1,500 to my brisket sandwich $8.66.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. I thought it was. I think so. Here's something that you all should look at. Don't take like me and actually look at your menu items, because that will really figure out. Maybe if you do have a special that people like, maybe you take off your lowest selling item and put your special on there and see what happens. We thought about putting our brisket Reuben whenever we have it is popular. But I don't want to print up a new menu, so I just keep it there.
We're at just over 600 pounds of straight pulled pork.
Oh, see, I have to count a lot.
And almost 600 pounds of brisket out the door.
Yeah. Is that including catering or no?
No, that's just roadside stuff.
Yeah.
I got to do a better job of adding the items when I do my catering quotes. Because I'll do a loose quote over like email and stuff, and then I'll just put in the total. Wedding total. And not break it out. Let's see. 220. 400, 500, 8. 508.5 racks of ribs.
Wow. That's a lot. 488 coleslaws.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. For as much as my staff complains about making derachos, it's such a low number in the grand scheme of thing that we're at probably an average of 3 and 6 a day. So, yeah, we only sold 1,200 Durachos this year. About 600 of each. So, but we are selling. Okay, so we have always done Faygo Pop since we've opened, until this year when we switched to Coke. And I will say, it has been a huge jump in pop sales for us, going away from Faygo and going to Coke.
Oh yeah.
But we did Faygo because we wanted to do local, and we thought it would be a cool thing, and people love Faygo, but it's I expected it to go up. I didn't expect it to be that high. And we doubled the price of pop when we switched to Coke. So we were doing $1 cans of Faygo, and we're doing $2 cans of Coke.
Yeah. I sold 221 veggie plates.
It's not bad.
No, it's just weird, you know. It's yeah. I mean, that's my veggie plate's my top selling special, and it's not really a special. I just haven't uncategorized it.
24.
Burn ends are close.
Oh, I lied. It seemed like we've sold. So last year we sold 3,116 drinks. We're at 2,400 right now. So we might not even hit the same number. Huh. Interesting. It seemed like we've sold a lot more drinks this year. 47.
Yeah, burn ends have definitely been the most special.
Well, sorry everybody for the deep dive into our item sales. I'm sure it's been riveting to listen to.
Well, anyway.
But
all right.
for me, yeah, I mean, so I'll use it. I'll go in and look.
Keep your specials going. It livens up your menu, and it may even bring other items to light.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and again, look at your item sales for the year, and if you see a sandwich or something that is just awful performing wise, that you can easily move into one of your special items too, that even might use some of the same ingredients, especially protein, do it, swap out those items in the next season.
Yeah. Did we cover the Miss Jones's question about questions we ask event planners and stuff like that?
Yeah.
We did do that? Okay.
Yep.
All right. We have to check that one off. All right. So the last one would be question for 2023 sales year thus far. What is your percentage of sales from catering versus on-truck events such as roadside festivals, anything requiring the truck to be there? Well, most of my caterings required the truck to be there, because that's what our customers have chosen. But
I think just go roadside versus
correct. I understand.
Invoice.
So
this is a number I hate that Square can't provide us. Just give me my invoice total paid for the year.
You can. Well, you can, but it takes a second. Just export. You can export it to Excel. I'm just saying.
You have all these other sales reports. Just give me my total invoice, please.
Like, I get it. Completely understand.
It's redonkulous.
Mine is definitely this year. Okay. Export.
Well, actually, you know what? You can pull paid this year. But yeah, then it's still just in list form. It doesn't give you a fucking total. It's so stupid.
Okay, so total amount was $65,533.15. That includes anything that I have delivered, been on site for, whatever the case may be. Does not include any tips. That's just what I have invoiced out. And then my total sales, I was just telling Josh before we went on the air, that my total, I just crossed over the 200K mark. So that means the math on that is, calculator please, 65.3 divided by 200. 33% of my overall sales has been catering.
Well, I'm getting there.
Please get there.
Well, I don't have Office. I use Google for everything, and Square will only download into export into Excel. So I had to do some quick maneuvering here. Give me a second.
Josh likes the Google.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's included with all my other Google things, so
Yes.
I actually get an actual real email address. It's not at Google. I said open. Why are you not opening?
Because this caffeine's not working.
Open invoice. Oh, it's still opening. Importing.
Ask you a question as you're doing this.
So what?
Can I ask you a question about meat while you're doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. Ask me away.
Brisket prices. Or I should say brisket weights. Have you noticed that a lot of the briskets that are available are less than 15 pounds?
Sometimes. For
Or did you
Costco, I'm
spend-
still seeing a lot of inconsistency. So Costco has Primes back. It seems to be mostly regularly. So the first week they had them back, I think I had a case that only had 3 briskets in it, and they were all probably 20 pounds.
Yeah. Must be good.
And then I mean, this last 2 cases I've gotten, there's been a couple of them in there that I didn't think there was a point on them.
Yeah.
They were that small.
There was, this past week, I picked one up from Gordon's. It was 80 pounds.
Nice.
Case, and there was 5 in there.
Yeah, it's
It's just late
they're
in the
just,
year.
they're just not very consistent case to case. But I'm happy with the quality of them for the most part, especially back to Primes at Costco. They've been really good. I actually had somebody come up to me in the last week that said, "I'm not sure what you changed about your brisket in the last couple weeks, but it's way better." And the only thing that changed was from choice to Prime.
Going back, yeah.
Yeah, and really the Costco Prime choices aren't bad. They're as good as the GFS Primes, in my opinion.
Where do you find GFS Primes?
You can get Primes from GFS.
Online order only?
Yeah,
Oh, that's why.
and they're going to cost you $1 more, at least, than what you're going to pay at Costco. All right, I got my shit imported now. I just got to do my formula. I do not play in here enough anymore. Sorry, everybody. Where am I? Oh, there it is. Just looking for the wrong word. Okay. So my invoice total for the year was $80,912. And so far, let's see here. 80,912 by 301,000, give or take. So I'm about 27%. Is invoiced stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
You said you were at 70?
65 and change. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You must have added some stuff then after the last time you told me, because I thought you said you were right around 50.
Yeah. Well, I had two big parties that hadn't been. According to what this wonderful little Google thing says,
Cool.
or not Google, Excel.
You did just the year, right? Not all time.
Just the year. I do. It's 44 invoices.
Yeah. Well, I'm at 41. Which I thought I was closer to 45. Interesting. I don't know. That's what it says.
And tips added to the invoice was 1,085.
I didn't even look at that. Hold on. $1,278.
Hey, so I just saw your special on the interweb.
Mm-hmm.
How soft are those apples?
They're not.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why not core them and slice them long ways so they fit the bun?
So it's a apple ring?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know if you thought about it or not.
I did.
Just saying that apple core thing is pretty cool.
Oh, I know.
But I think that'd be cool. That way, nothing falls out. I guess.
I don't mind messy.
I do have people. There are people that go through. They'll grab a sandwich, they'll open it, and they say, "Ooh, I need a fork for this." I said, "Yeah, I make good sandwiches. Sometimes they're not the neatest."
Yeah. No, Chris and I split one. It held together fine. I mean, as long as you're not a lummox, I mean, you can probably manage to keep most of the things in there. I think it's more likely you're gonna have some pork slip out than you're gonna have a piece of apple slip out. But
Well, when I was contemplating the luau, I was contemplating a pineapple ring and like smoking a pineapple ring with brushing it with a little barbecue sauce and then put that on there, but it'd take too long. Just find a good spread.
yeah, no, it's nope. I just use my my apple pie filling mix of seasonings that I use. And just slice them and let them sit for a few hours. They stay crunchy. It is amazing with the pork on there that there's not a whole lot of straight apple. It blends in super well and it melds together with the pork so well that
Would you
it's
say
not like
it's like that? Your pork is more savory.
it's sweeter. It really is almost like dessert.
Any barbecue sauce or no?
Yeah, just a little bit of barbecue sauce on the top. Yeah, it was really good, but there was nothing like, oh, I'm eating apple in it.
Yeah.
And so it was, I think that's perfect, you know. As nice as it would be to have, you know, that flavor of the Honeycrisp really stand out.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to have too much apple in there. Like your ratio between apple and pork would have to be a lot closer. But yeah, before that, we tried to do some pickled apple. And my pickling solution was just not right. So, Chris said it tasted a little bit like fall and Christmas all in one. And I added clove against probably my better judgment. So, and the clove just kind of took over the whole thing. But something I will try. I'd probably explore again. We had played with an apple slaw before we had opened the truck as an option for something to have on the menu, and just couldn't get the flavors right on that. So, and really credit to Bigfoot Burger. and kind of refueling those creative juices for me. So on their apple burger that they were trying. So
Nothing beats the cinnamon fried apples from the Jack, though.
I wouldn't know.
I know.
Shut up, you fucking asshole.
Big ones.
But no, I had a couple extra apples. I threw one on the smoker for a half an hour. Half hour, 45 minutes. Pulled it off and sprinkled some cinnamon and sugar on it as I was eating it. God, it was so good.
So when I worked at the barbecue restaurant a while back, they had restaurant week, and Royal Oak is there's a ton of restaurants, so a lot of people were doing it. Anyway, they were making smoked, we'll call it apple dumplings, but it was basically like a whole apple cored, peeled, with dough over it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they smoked with the cinnamon sugar.
But I bet you it was good.
It was fantastic. Of course it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
It'd
good.
be easy to do. What kind of dough?
They made it. I'd assume some sort of.
So, as a barbecue guy, I'm sure you've done a biscuit test here or there.
I've done a biscuit test here or there.
Yeah, the biscuits are good.
Oh yeah.
So you could
I know
use
what's
probably
more
something like a pre-made Pillsbury dough around an
Yeah.
apple. Just thinking, what kind of maybe a croissant? I wonder if that would be okay. Something airy.
I've contemplating wrapping a sliced piece of apple in a croissant, just like pigs
Like a
in
turnover.
Well, like pigs in a blanket, but do
Yeah.
the apple.
I'm liking where we're going with this. I think one of us is probably going to try this week. It's probably going to be me.
We should do? We should come up with something, and then we'll tag each other in Facebook, and then do a like war.
All right.
So we can get more likes for their pictures. See if I can redeem myself.
How are your Facebook likes doing, by the way?
Just under 25 away from 2,500.
Nice. Good job, buddy.
I'm not really trying.
Oh no, that's good though. Organic is the best. When you have growth organically, that's what you want. But that's a 25% increase this season.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
I think I've only run a handful of ads. So my wife has to have a pretty good surgical procedure where she's going to be down for a few weeks, come December. So I'm contemplating now running that catering ad for office parties and such.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only ads we've done have been our weekly menus, our weekly stop ads. We haven't done a Facebook like ad where it's just promoting the business in general. I don't know. I think I had it running when we started our little 2,000, 10,000 thing, but I turned it off.
Yeah.
It was expensive. I mean, we were paying $300 a month for that thing.
Why you beat me by a lot?
No, I didn't. Wait, I stopped it shortly after we started. Because that was one of the parameters, is that we weren't paying for likes, so I turned it off. And I haven't run it since, but we've done, I think we're at 10,008, 700. So, I mean, we've added another 7 this year, organically.
Yeah,
more
that's
or less.
good.
So, I'd like to I would have liked to have seen it get to 1,000, but we're not posting as much as we should be, and
How's your
Yes.
Etna doing?
huh?
How's your Etna thing doing?
I have not heard back from her. I know they were still doing a bunch of other events this last week. They did a couple of golf outings and stuff like that. So I'll probably reach out to her this week and see where they're at with that. Maybe I'll tell her I'll give her a 10% discount, and if she pays now, and I could just pay for the trailer with that.
I mean, that would work.
Yeah, except for then when I get to those events next year, and it's a whole lot of money going out without money coming back in, type of thing. But again, that's one of those things you just have to kind of get your head past, because the other trailer's going to be making money for you the whole time. But still, especially when you get to that 600 person catering event, and you got $1,000 in food going out for the one day,
Yeah.
and nothing coming back in to kind of replenish the cash flow type of thing. But yeah, it'll work out. Do we want to? We got 10 minutes left, Skippy. Do we want to nerd out on KCBS real quick? In the massive debacle that was
I don't
the
think
American Royal.
I mean, I don't know if there's a final answer or not. I mean, there's a finality to the awards and the winners and stuff like that. But as far as what actually happened, I don't know if there's a final.
Well, they've recrowned.
They have recrowned, yes. So for people that know, it's the world's largest barbecue contest. It was 488 teams, and the wrong team was crowned the winner.
And while you may think that that is not a huge deal, this is a massive, massive deal. So there's 2 highly coveted barbecue championships in the country, in the world probably. The American Royal Open and the Jack Daniels. It is such a big deal to win the American Royal Open. They bring you up on stage, you get a crown, you get a robe, you're sitting in a throne. It's a huge mammoth
You're
deal.
literally the king/queen of barbecue, reigning, defending, undisputed.
So not only that, what's the check? Is it 20 grand?
It's a lot of money. Yeah.
So you get handed this big giant check. You're on top of the effing world.
Yeah.
And then you get home 3 days later, you get an email from KCBS said, "We're doing some audits. We found that the scores weren't right. You didn't win. Can you kindly not cash that check we gave you? And we're going to need those crowns back."
Well, and here's the thing: is I don't know if that part's actually happening.
If KCBS needs to figure out a way, I don't know. I don't know how you make it right, but at next year's Royal Open, they should have a new crowning ceremony. So whoever won lost that whole experience. They had it taken away from them.
Yes.
And that's the most heartbreaking part.
And whoever won didn't get that experience.
Yeah. So
mentioned.
The award ceremony is on the field at Arrowhead Stadium.
No.
Oh no, it's at the Speedway now. That's right.
So they take up the interior of a 2.5 mile track.
Yeah.
A NASCAR track.
Sorry, I forgot they moved it. I'm still thinking Arrowhead, but still,
This is
still a massive deal.
so the 2 things that really stand out, other than people, is the one person who actually won was 4th in the actual standings. So after all the audits were done, he wins first by like a point. The other odd thing was there was a team that wasn't even there. They were at a different contest that weekend and somehow scored points. Finished dead last, but somehow scored points nonetheless.
Well, is that a Myron Mixon, Jack's Old South thing where his son was at a different contest with the same? Okay.
No. That was right. So the team was Fire Dancer Barbecue. They only had one team. Somehow numbers got mixed up. Whatever.
Is that what sparked the whole audit?
I think so. Yeah, because the running joke now is, I think I'll go to the Jack and finish 4th, and I won't even be there. Or I think I'll finish 4th at the Jack and not be there. That was the running joke now. But yeah, I feel bad for Janky Leg Barbecue. Been absolutely killing it this year. Great people. The other guy, Machete Boys.
Yeah.
First, that wasn't his first ever grand, but obviously the biggest one he's ever received. Just taking it away, it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah. So I saw Janky Leg's post. It was a pretty long post. Well had, and he said Machete Boys have done nothing but handle it, and they're friends, which is awesome. But great that they are. And he said his first reaction when they got called for grand was to run up, and he was the first one that ran up there to congratulate him and give him a big old hug. Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, they need to have a re-crowning ceremony at next year's Royal. Give him the best experience they can give him to try to make up for that. And I don't even know if KCBS doesn't figure out a way to make sure both those checks stay good.
Yeah.
To strip somebody of that I mean, I know the money's not the thing, but I don't know. Mine would have been deposited already in the bank.
Yeah, a little mobile deposit real quick.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing: is with the Royal, they do not. I was lucky enough to get a 20th place port call. They do not send you a check for like 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Because I got the ribbon, but I wasn't expecting a check because they don't really post like how far they go. And I got like $175 check like 3 weeks later. Like Melissa and John, they got like 5th and a 7th. And they're like, oh, this is great, but we didn't get our checks. So like, yeah, they'll be there a couple weeks later. And a couple weeks came by. Ooh, these are nice checks.
Yeah. Yeah, good job.
So I know
Skippy, on your
that
20th.
they'll fix the check stuff, but as far as like the awards and things like that, or like,
Just the experience alone. Yeah.
I totally feel bad for them. And not to mention, this also had points championship implications because with Janky Leg winning it, it's the biggest contest in the year, so many points. He was like 60 points behind Brad Leininger from getting basted. And I think, I'm not mistaken, let's see here. He's now 22 points behind with a few contests left to go. So good for them, good for everybody. Just hopefully you get to celebrate it.
Yeah, and it's amazing that people's dissatisfaction and untrust with KCBS lately. But moving on, I got one more thing, and I want to give a shout out to Jesus. I don't think he listens. If he does, it'd be remarkable, and please let us know you do. Clark Crew Barbecue, who over the weekend did catering for over 6,000 people.
Oh, I saw that too. That was crazy.
Attaboy, way to go.
Wow.
No, thank you. Did you read that
line?
post?
The fact that he's got 5, 6 rotisserie, Old Hickory rotisseries, 5 of them on a semi-trailer flatbed.
Well, first of all, to have those connections that you can call in a semi's worth of Old Hickories to come and cook for you for the day. But that's the stature that he has, though. So, 6,000 people, and he said all night. Just cooking briskets all night.
Brisket and chicken.
Yeah.
64. So we cooked enough food from 6,400 people. That's a lot of brisket and chicken. Running 7 big smokers all night long. They had volunteers and some voluntolds. I love that line. So he's come from the competition world, and I think this line that he has in here, when we started in December 2019, we couldn't have catered for 100 people. Teamwork from the restaurant, office to on-site, we've grown. The restaurant or kitchen knocked 6,500 portions of potato salad. That's awesome. So congratulations. Absolutely.
Not knowing, but let's just say a round nice $20 a person. It's not a bad $130,000 day.
Yeah. Not to mention, I think he just catered for freaking Jelly Roll the other day too.
Oh yeah. Not a bad
pick
day.
up the phone and give him a call.
Yeah. You come across that day and you're comparing day to day or day to previous year. You're like, oh, damn, we're down 99.9% from last year. What the hell happened?
Oh, and he still wins grands and reserves, too.
Yeah,
so.
Still competes. So,
Good for him.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy that no one came to me that said, I need catering for 6,000 people. And Chris is probably really happy because I would have done everything I could to try to figure out how to make it happen.
Here's the thing. So on Darren Worth's podcast, Shooting the Q, or not Shooting the Q, Cue the Mic, one of the advices or piece of advice that he gives to people or caterers or food truck operators, whatever, is don't say no. Find a way. Don't say no. Find a way.
Yeah, we had one of those. So, and that was 600 people, and that was a long day. So
You found a way.
I found a way. I didn't sleep, but yeah.
It's awesome.
All right. That's it. That's wrap it up. Yeah, let's do that. Let's everybody find us on places. MMFT on Facebook. Don't forget to also go to Skippy's Facebook page, PB&J's Barbecue of Michigan, on the book and the gram and the TikTok and the Tinder.
Yeah, please swipe right on my brisket.
And Sweet Racks Barbecue on the Facebook and Insta. So everybody have a great week. I can't wait to talk to you guys next week.
Keep the
Peace
questions
out.
coming.
Keep the questions coming. We love them. See you guys later. Bye.
Recording stopped.